Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon, as we got a great show for you. I know it's Friday and people are looking forward to the weekend, and we're going to have plenty of things to talk about. We're going to give really a lot of breakdowns and updates on the SEC tournament because it has been pretty electric so far. So we'll talk about that. We'll also get into some bracketology, which I know people are interested in, see where Arkansas is going to end up at. We'll get to your chats. We'll get to pretty much everything going on into the sports weekend and your phone calls if you want in on the conversation. 478-344-6623 is that number. But fellas, had a couple of really fun, and at least one of them being disappointing as far as watch parties go for the past couple of days. But heading into the weekend strong, getting ready for Selection Sunday. How we feeling on a Friday?
Hanging in there, man. I'm a slave to the brackets, you know, just crunching the numbers like crazy. But honestly, it's a lot of fun diving into it, trying to get as good of a handle as I can on, like where's Arkansas going to be seated? What does it mean if, this happens on the bubble? If there's a bid stealer, where does that put them? Where are they going to send them? Who are they going to play? I've been all over the place the last 24 hours here trying to get a handle on it. And my goal is to have it narrowed down and put out some predictions Sunday morning and see how stupid I look come about 5 o'clock.
There's not as much ease and comfort and relaxation going on in the Arkansas fan base as I would like going into this weekend. I think there's like still a little bit of anxiety, but hopefully that all gets cleared up soon. This weekend, everybody just relax, enjoy the calm before the storm in terms of the NCAA tournament, which Arkansas officially 1,000% will be playing in, and enjoy some baseball this weekend. The vibes are good. I said it on Monday. I'm going to have good vibes every day. I feel like I stayed true to my word. The vibes continue to be very good, and I'm excited for the weekend, even without a little bit of basketball.
Yeah, going 5 for 5 out of the days there too. So yeah, because listen, Selection Sunday is really what it's been about, and getting to that point and the excitement surrounding of where you're going to be. And it's kind of fun because I don't know if maybe this is the way that it was at least the past few years when Arkansas was in the NCAA tournament, but I felt like on Selection Sunday, we all kind of knew pretty much Arkansas's seed, and what, maybe not where exactly they were going to be, but thinking Muss's first run there, they were a 3 seed, kind of felt, all right, well, that makes sense. It's pretty much where they were going to be. Next year, they were a 4 seed, felt like it was going to be. There was never really any shocks or surprises when it came to getting into the NCAA tournament as far as the seed goes. But this year, it just, of course, knowing the up and down all around roller coaster and the inconsistencies from those who have been doing bracketology, and some of them who have Arkansas higher, some who have Arkansas lower, some of Arkansas not even in their own bracket. That's what's going to be fascinating going into this Selection Sunday. Is I'm a little excited for the anticipation where I have no idea what's going to end up happening. I feel like they're for sure in the tournament, but I mean, as far as where they play, who they play, what seed they're going to end up being, it's all up in the air, and it's going to be really mysterious and fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen Arkansas left out of a bracket, like an actual bracket update. I saw a couple people though. John, I think you might have turned me on to him yesterday. That was like, that might have that shot by Sean Padula might have ended their tournament hopes, and that's crazy talk. It really, what it boils down to, I in my personal seed list, I've got Arkansas as either the 2nd or 3rd 10 seed, and that can vary based on what happens here. I don't really think that they're in danger of a lot of people left on the bubble like passing them up necessarily. It's about bid stealers, and when you hear bid stealers, I'm not saying somebody's going to steal Arkansas's bid, but they steal someone else's, and then you kind of move down a little bit, and all of a sudden a 10 seed might become an 11, right? Or something like that. But yeah, there's some pretty interesting variants, man. Like, I don't necessarily see a path for Arkansas to an 8-9 game, but one of the best bracketologists out there who I followed from way back when, bracket guy Dave, in case you're wondering, he's got Arkansas as a 9 seed right now. So I'm like, shoot, maybe so. A lot of what I've seen is 10. Today, I've seen Arkansas in quite a few 11 seeds, like safe out of the first 4 situation in Dayton, but I've seen them in quite a few 11s. So we'll see, man. I think we'll have a lot of clarity, though, by the end of today, because you'll know a little bit more about any final potential bid stealers out there. Like if a team or two loses here and you don't have to worry about them, like a Utah State or a Boise State, those teams that are trying to climb out of the Mountain West. So still a few more factors, but I think we'll have a pretty good handle on it by this time tomorrow.
I also think for what is going on with,
I mean, looking.
Oh, there was a delay there. Sorry.
No,
Andrew.
you're good. No, you're good. Go ahead, John.
I was gonna throw this up there real quick for everybody. These are just a few examples. I know there's a lot of different bracketologists out there, but these are the latest, at least as of like 15 minutes ago. So who knows? Maybe they've changed. But on 3, one of the ones that they had, which I really liked, this one, it'd be really cool. Arkansas playing as a 10 seed against Louisville in the West Regional, and it would be in Wichita. And if they won against Louisville, they would play the winner of Texas Tech and Omaha. So that one would be pretty ideal. CBS Sports in the latest have Arkansas playing, I mean, almost ridiculous, but because both of these are in the same thing. But Arkansas is a 10 seed playing BYU in Lexington as part of the East Regional, where if Arkansas was to win that game, they would face the winner of Bama and Wofford. And then the latest one for Joe Lunardi, I had to actually do a quick change on this. The latest one for Joe Lunardi, it came out just 10 minutes ago, has Arkansas. He dropped him down to an 11 seed playing Michigan as the 6th seed in the East Regional, where they would face the winner, if they beat Michigan again and playing them again, in Milwaukee, would face the winner of Iowa State and Troy. So just a few examples. I know there's a lot of them there. And I also saw that the Field of 68 put out their official latest bracketology. They have Arkansas as a 10 seed playing against 7 seed Gonzaga, and that would be in the Midwest Regional, where they would face the winner of Alabama and Bryant. So it seems like most people, at least, that 10 seed, already has them as 11, but that's where kind of all lays out right now.
Those Field of 68 guys are goobers, man.
You're out on them?
They're goobers. Even Fanta's in on the bit now, man. Those guys are awful. They really are.
Did you see Fanta at MSG though? He had that place jumping.
Good for him. He can stay there in the Big East, man. He's dead to me. I used to love Fanta, man. It's one of my favorites, but he jumped on the Cal thing last night. No, what I've noticed there, first of all, give me Louisville. If I was to pick one team that I would love to see Arkansas matched up with in the NCAA tournament, it would be them. So wherever that could happen, I'd be all for it. I do not like the idea of playing Texas Tech at all. I want nothing to do with that in the second round, but who cares? Like, you got to get through the first one first. What I'm noticing, I think, like you see people with, like, is Arkansas a 9 or a 10 or an 11? Like Lunardi's got him as an 11, for example. He values Drake higher than a lot of other teams, because some people are like, well, they've got such a good record, I got to put them at least a 10 seed. Other people look at it, comparatively speaking to some of these other schools, and go, man, they really didn't have much on the record. Like, what's their best win? Kansas State or something? And they've got them in that 11 or 12 range. And so when you're right on that cut line between a 10 or an 11 seed, that kind of decision can change things. Where do they have Oklahoma in the pecking order compared to Arkansas? Where is West Virginia or Baylor in the pecking order compared to Arkansas? So there's a handful of teams there, and you could really, depending on what you value the most in the selection criteria, make an argument for any of these teams to be one spot above the other. So who the heck really knows what it's going to look like? But it seems like those are a handful of teams kind of jockeying for the same spots.
So I really like that Wichita draw that has Arkansas playing Louisville, and then the Texas Tech as the 2 seed. Curtis, you've watched Texas Tech a lot more than I have, so I'll defer to you there. Is there a team, though, I'm going to put you on the spot, in that 2 seed, 3 seed, or even maybe a 1 seed that you think is like a borderline, not that you ever have an ideal second round matchup when you're a lower seed, but like a 2 seed that you have targeted where you're like, if Arkansas sees them in a 7-2 or 10-2 game, I'd feel good about this one?
Kentucky, if they get to a 2 seed, I think. No.
That's a dream scenario right there.
Yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, all those teams are good, man. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Duke if Cooper Flagg is hurt. You know what I mean? But like you never really want to face a Houston. I don't want to see any of the SEC teams again, but like I wouldn't be that broken up about it to get another shot at Tennessee, because they've got such high variance. Like when they're hot, they can really shoot the crap out of it. But when they're clanking it like they do sometimes, it's a very gettable type team there. Michigan State, I'm not sure. There are things about them that scare me quite a bit, but they also are just one of the worst shooting teams in the country. So I'm like, maybe. The thing about Texas Tech is they've got Toppin, and they've got Darion Williams, who is like a Dude Thero on steroids. And those two guys in the front court scare the crap out of me. If I knew Thero was, going to be healthy and out there, I'd be more prone to be like, oh yeah, sure, give me Texas Tech. But that matchup scares me a little bit. They all do though, and to your point.
I think I like Michigan State as a lot better for that kind of same reason that you feel like if Arkansas gets in a slugfest, they can beat a team like that. It's what does give me a lot of confidence though is Arkansas's played a lot of teams lately in that 7 seed range and in that 2 seed range, like Bama, Auburn, even the teams they've lost to. You kind of know what you're getting. You know what the task is. Arkansas has been in games against a lot of teams in this kind of vicinity, and so whether or not they can go do it twice in a row, we'll see. But I mean, Ole Miss, that's the type of team you're going to face in the first round, and Alabama and Auburn, teams you played close games with, that's about who you're going to have to beat in the second round. And so, and Kentucky, you obviously done that as well. So Arkansas is a good they're prepared for this test.
I will say we like that, like maybe that Louisville matchup there. I guess was it Lenardi that had him against BYU? I want nothing to do with BYU.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Those dudes are freaking on fire right now. I can't remember the last time they lost, man, but they have stacked up some crazy, crazy wins here recently. They beat Arizona, they beat Kansas, they beat Iowa State twice. Like those dudes are rolling, and they might be vulnerable on defense, but that offense is humming, man. Those dudes are tough.
They just needed a new coach is all it took for BYU to get going. So just needed a new coach. Because I was seeing, again, there's all these different predictions and whatnot, but I was cracking up at one of them. I think it was one of them. Maybe it was just somebody that what would be funny, but Arkansas playing Louisville in Lexington and the 2 seed being St. John's in that same one. So you'd have Rick Pitino back at Lexington with all that nonsense. You'd have Louisville, the big rival of Kentucky fans there in Lexington. And then you'd have John Calipari in Lexington. So, I mean, that you talk about just a wet dream for the Field of 68 guys. I mean, that would be everything they've ever dreamed of and more. So that would be pretty cool to see, just because, again, the storyline of it all and whatnot. But yeah, it's like you brought up Michigan State and poor shooting. I'm just so it shows how much of a pessimist I am. I'm just like, well, don't worry, they'd have their best shooting day against Arkansas that day. That's just the way it feels. But again, it's just a matter of in the NCAA tournament, especially with this year and this year's team. I mean, it doesn't matter if they're going up against Maryland Eastern Shore again. I don't even know how good I'd feel, just because of how tough it is to win in the NCAA tournament for one, but also the up and down of this team. We don't know. We don't know what, if Stero going to be back. We don't know, with the Z situation, how healthy is he going to be? There's just so many factors into it. I'm just glad that they're going to be in it and roll the dice and see what happens. That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, for sure, man. Me too. And I saw the Michigan. It was Lenardi had him with Michigan. I guess it might have been Jerry Palm that had him with BYU or whatever. But that's not going to happen. Like it's not an outright rule that you can't have non-conference rematches in the first round, but they really will go out of their way to avoid it. Like they would send Arkansas somewhere like a more unfavorable spot or region to avoid doing that if they could. So that's something to probably keep an eye on there in the round of 64. Like they would have to really be screwed in a lot of different ways to rematch Arkansas with Michigan. Although a lot of people are fading Michigan right now for the way they've been playing here down the stretch. So it might not be the worst thing in the world, but just a heads up on that.
Yeah. John, you said wet dream earlier when talking about Rick Pitino. I'm pretty sure he was awake for
man. Yeah. Yes. Well, it would be one of those things that just, again, seeing it last night and whatnot. Cause I know Curtis, you retweeted it. And that it's maybe not surprising, but still just hilarious that, Matt Jones, Kentucky Sports Radio puts out a tweet and was saying like, hey, there's a possible matchup with Arkansas and Louisville and Lexington. Who would you root for if you're as a Kentucky fan? And I need to check the latest, but it was incredible to see. It's narrowed a little bit more, but still 55% out of 10,000 plus votes said they would root for Louisville over Arkansas. Holy crap!
I honestly thought it'd be higher. I thought that more of them would root for Louisville.
It was in the beginning. It was like a 10% difference, but now it's narrowed because maybe some of the logical Kentucky fans are getting on their lunch break that actually have an education and like to work for a living. But it's still like I just want to know how many other places your bitter, most hated rival people would root for over a guy who won you a national championship and just went to another school. Like, that's mind-blowing to me. Mind-blowing to me. But
some of those folks they need help.
I'm telling you.
I mean, it's crazy, man. The way that they act. And I understand that it's, probably a very loud minority, but my goodness, man, some of that's crazy. But then you see a poll like that, and like Matt Jones has a huge ass following. So maybe it's not the minority, but that just seems crazy to me, man. It really does.
Yeah.
I don't see, like, Kentucky fans. I know that Louisville and Kentucky is historically pretty heated, but like these days, I feel like it's calmed down as a rivalry a good bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like their biggest rival in football and in basketball. And I think when Pitino was there, of course, it was even much more heated because it was Cal and Pitino going after it each and every time. So yeah, maybe it's a little bit, but I don't know. I just feel like trying to compare it to other situations. Like if Nick Saban went to, I don't know, Texas in football to become the head coach, and Texas was playing Auburn, I have a hard time believing that the Alabama fan base overwhelmingly, or like the majority, be like, yeah, we're rooting for Auburn. Like I just don't see that happening. I don't know of any other case. Maybe I've overestimated their hatred for Louisville and maybe underestimated their true hatred for Cal. I don't know, but man, I saw that. I was like, okay, so this isn't just me. It's not just us crazy people over here thinking that the Kentucky fans have an obsession with rooting against Cal. The numbers speak for themselves. The numbers never lie, as they say in the polling.
It's wild, man. And there have been different times throughout the course of the season that I felt it. Now I feel it more than ever with just how kind of borderline weird and obsessive that it is. And we'll talk about it more. I'm sure I guess when we get into the SEC update or whatever, we'll talk about last night's games. I got more to say about it, but it's wild behavior, man, from some folks over there. Hey, you want to be passionate, but my goodness, man.
Let's give ourselves a pat on the back. Arkansas has been looking for this for decades, a team to choose them as a rival, a team to actually hate them. We've been waiting for this. We're always the team that like, oh, you care more about us. Finally, Arkansas fans have a situation where another fan base cares more than them. Although they kind of have that with Missouri, but at this point that's running out because Missouri's beat them so many times. I think that's why maybe Arkansas fans kind of enjoyed the Missouri thing, is because they get to kind of be the big brother. Weirdly enough, Arkansas fans are now at a point, and I never thought that happened with Kentucky basketball, where they care more than we do.
Yeah, but it's finally gotten to that point, and it's fun. Yeah, it's fun to be on the other side of it for a change. We'll get to some of your chats, folks, here in a second, but let's go ahead and jump into the Alumni Hall question of the day presented by Alumni Hall. If you go to InsideArkansas.com/Alumni Hall, you'll be able to see all the great apparel that they have, all the Razorback apparel. You got talking about jerseys, talking about hats, talking about for basketball, for baseball, for the warmer weather that's coming, and that's kind of here in some way, and the windy weather apparently too. So stay safe out there, everybody. But either way, you got to get all your Razorback apparel at only one spot, and it's Alumni Hall. And if you use the promo code HOGSBY20, all caps, you get 20% off your purchase. It's as simple as that. So get the best Razorback gear around with the greatest assortment of collections for men, women, and kids. It's Alumni Hall, the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. So I asked a question dealing with the seating and preference and whatnot, because that's what, you're at least at the point now where you can't do anything else to change your seating as far as you. You can maybe rely on other people to lose or to win, but that's where you stand right now. And where it stands right now for you, usually it's been 10 or 11 has been the most common. So for Razorback fans, which do you prefer, a 10 seed or 11 seed? And 61% say they would rather have the 10 seed than the 11 seed. Is that just because it's higher? Maybe so. But, I've heard people talk about, I want the 10 seed, or I want to avoid the 8-9 game, or, the 11 seed, I feel like it would be great and everything. So maybe I should have put in there to disqualify the Dayton 11 seed. Maybe that's what people are thinking of. But either way, I think if a 10 seed, 11 seed, is it really that big of a difference between the two?
No, not really. Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, as long as you avoid Dayton, it seems pretty similar. I mean, the teams are going to be in the same range and everything. So whatever. I think I prefer the 10 personally. Yeah.
Just a cleaner number.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also Arkansas needs to get revenge on the last time they were a 10 seed, or they faced a 10 seed, I guess, in that 7-10 game when they lost to Butler. They were the 7 seed and Butler's the 10 seed. So they need to have some better showing. I think Arkansas was, surely they weren't the 12 seed. I was trying to think of what seed they were when they lost to USC and OJ Mayo and Stan Heath last year.
I think it was a 7-10.
Okay, so
Was it? Okay, I was going to say 11-6, but 7-10 might
Oh,
be
was
right.
Arkansas the 7 then?
I don't
no, they were
remember.
the
They were
lower.
the 10.
Yeah, they were the lower seed or higher seed. How does it go? Like I don't know. Like
I think higher seed
remember.
means lower number.
okay, yeah. So they were the double-digit seed. We'll just say that the double-digit seed Arkansas was at. I'm pretty sure. I knew Arkansas was a double-digit seed because
Taj Gibson got him.
yeah, because they barely made it in, and they went out there to San Francisco or Sacramento, and they just got mollywopped. So it was rough out there. But
Mollywopped.
yeah, they need to get something better from that and kind of break that spell that they've had in the bad luck of the 7-10 matchups. So hopefully they do. But yeah, I mean, listen, you'll get into the tournament, you'll take whatever you can get. But like you said, Curtis, just avoid the game in Dayton, and I think most Razorback fans will be pretty happy with where it all plays out too. So. All right, let's go ahead and get to some of your chats. Appreciate our guy Caleb for the super chat. Appreciate you, Caleb. He says, for however long conference tournaments have been in play for the NCAA champs of each year, did they win out their conference tournament or did they lose in the earlier rounds? Get what I'm saying? So I guess you're saying when the last few champions, have they done really well in their conference tournament or have they gotten out pretty quickly? I assume that's what you're asking. I guess I have to dive into it and look a little research into it, but
UConn definitely won the Big East tournament last year, right?
I believe so.
I'm pretty
I
certain.
mean, I don't know who
they
else
did.
would have if it wasn't for UConn. So, yeah, UConn doing that. I want to say,
dude, it's really tough for me to remember conference tournaments when they get past like a week. Like in 2 weeks, if you tell me who's in the semifinals of the SEC tournament this weekend, I'm gonna have a hard time telling you.
wait a minute.
UConn won their conference tournament last year and won the whole thing. They did not win it all in 2023. They lost to Marquette, and then won the whole thing. So that's just the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, you know why we can't remember, guys? Because it doesn't freaking matter. It doesn't matter what what conference tournaments you do. When you win the national championship, nobody remembers that. They just remember what you do in March Madness. That's what's most important.
Kansas won the Big 12 tournament and then won the whole thing in 2022 or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kansas, didn't they go through a stretch where they won the Big 12 tournament a bunch?
Yeah. Because then I'm guessing that year Baylor won, they didn't win. They probably didn't win their conference tournament. Kansas probably won it.
Yeah. In fact, fun fact, the Big 12, that Big 12 tournament with Baylor, they lost in the second game. They lost to Oklahoma State.
Gross.
Yeah. Tough scenes there. But even like John Calipari, I think we talked about it maybe a few days ago, that he lost as the year they won the championship, they lost in the SEC title game.
There's been a lot of title game losers win titles, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
There's just something to be said about like the way UConn did it several years ago, where they won, what was it, 4 in 4 days or 5 in 5 days, like that crazy run, and then they did 6 straight. As opposed to like these teams in the SEC tournament, they were playing their first game today. Like winning 3 games in 3 days versus 5 in 5 days, and then going and getting it done in March Madness. Two very different things.
Yeah. Some conference tournaments are set up where the 1 seed only has to play once. They'll be like literally just like play on Saturday, win, you're in.
Yeah, Gonzaga's league, the WCC or whatever, the top 2 seeds get a bye to the semifinals. It's like, man, that's nice.
Yeah. You get to cruise right on in. Yeah. Because people also, I'm sure Razorback fans remember, but hey, Arkansas, the year they won the national championship, they didn't even make it to the SEC championship game that year in '94. So again, it's all about it. You have examples of both. You have examples of teams that have won it all and examples of teams that haven't. So, but yeah, we get what you're saying. Good question though, Caleb.
Yeah.
A few other chats here. Jake says, doesn't the tournament have a rule where they try to avoid conference teams playing each other until the Sweet 16? Maybe the exception this year with the amount of SEC teams getting in.
Yeah, they do. They really try to do that. There's a kind of like an updated set of criteria, though, for leagues that have more than 9 teams that make the field, which will definitely be the SEC this year. And so you could see teams meeting as early as the second round. What they try to do is if you only played once in the regular season, then they feel okay about matching you up with a conference team in the round of 32. If you played twice, they bump it back to the Sweet 16 round. And then if it's like you had a home and then you played in the conference tournament, they really try to avoid that until the regional final. But we'll almost certainly see potential SEC on SEC matchups in the round of 32 this year. Probably more than one, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams in like the similar range. A lot of teams in the 7 to 10 range, and a lot of teams in the 1 to 3 range in the SEC. So it's like there's gonna have to be at least one.
Also, let's see, we got this Jake. If North Carolina wins today, you all won't have to worry about getting matched up row anybody in the NCAA tournament. LOL.
If North Carolina wins today, Arkansas is not the team you need to be worried about, man. You would still be about 8 or 9 spots away from threatening Arkansas for anything. And honestly, listen, Jake, I hope that North Carolina does win today. I really do. I know it was probably unfair to ask them to win more than one quad one game this year. Clearly, it was not, fair to ask them to beat Duke or stay within single digits of them in 2 meetings this year. And so kudos to the ACC for leveling the playing field a little bit. Maybe you guys can get it done this time with Cooper Flagg not playing and an all ACC defender and Malik Brown not playing. Maybe the playing field's leveled enough to where you guys can get that second quad one win and sneak into Dayton. Good luck with that.
Yep. I feel like it's pretty likely you'll do that too, for sure. No, easy stuff. And I guess it's Trey says, "Hey, Kurtz, just want to say thank you for all that you do with Pod at the Palace episodes, because I have learned so much about basketball for you, and now I'm a basketball junkie. It's all it takes. It's all it takes. You just listen to Curtis, and you become a junkie."
I don't know, but I appreciate you listening for sure. And make sure you tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow and Sunday are going to be probably kind of lengthy, but very informative episodes for people who are March Madness sickos. I'm looking forward to them.
Yeah. Okay. And as a reminder, folks, we'll be doing a selection show special on Sunday. So here in Inside Arkansas, we'll be live streaming and having some fun with it.
What time is the selection show? Do we know?
5 bills, or as soon as the Big Ten title game or whatever is over.
Yeah.
I think it's how it works.
Yeah, that sounds right too. Yeah, so it's usually around that time, but they're going to milk it for as long as they can. They got to get those commercials in, got to get those ads in and everything. So it's going to be fun to see all that go down. But it's going to be fun. We missed out. I know we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but man, it just missed out last year and how sucky that was. Not even having a choice in the matter, like not even having a skin in the game on Selection Sunday. And you got spoiled for 3 straight years. You had it, and then last year was such a bummer. So it's gonna be fun again. It's gonna be fun again to see where they're at.
That's funny. I was literally getting ready to say, yeah, last year was such a bummer. That's the best word to describe it, man. That stunk. And so I know there were times this year where people get really frustrated with this basketball team, and I get it. I mean, they frustrate all of us at times. But the people who are like, they don't deserve to get in, I don't even want them to get in. Yes, you do. Listen, even sweating it a little bit. I know, people try to dunk on Arkansas fans right now, like, oh, congratulations on sneaking in or whatever. Yeah, congratulations. This is much, much better than the alternative, man.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get in. Like literally, we're all dangerous once we get in there, and then everything gets a clean slate. And we'll see. Some people are looking for their first ever NCAA tournament win. So shout out to everybody going into the March Madness with a chance to make history in their own lives.
Yep. It's going to be important to see. That's for sure. We'll continue to get to your chats, folks, to keep throwing those in there. But let's go ahead and do an SEC update presented by Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com. Use promo code HOGSBY20 for 20% off your very first purchase with all the athleisure wear. Here's the deal. The game with Arkansas and Ole Miss yesterday sucked because of being Razorback fans and whatnot. However, the games were pretty incredible, especially down the stretch. We'll get to the big one last night that ended late last night. But how about that Texas and Texas A&M game? Double OT, 94-89. Texas gets the victory. Tremont Mark was unable to kill them again for the 3rd time, but still wild stuff that ended up happening. That ended up having Texas still trying to survive and still trying to hold it together for an NCAA tournament bid, but was a pretty fantastic game yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, that was an awesome game. When I wound up finishing up some work stuff and was able to watch from the second half all the way through the overtimes of that game. That was a fun one, man. I mean, Texas is such a weird team because there have been so many times this season and even recently where they've just looked pulseless out there. And you're just like, hey, these dudes don't care. They don't like each other, whatever. And then they have these games where they just kind of rally and, Trey Johnson's an elite talent. And, they really get after it and win games. I mean, they did in this one. Texas A&M stinks, man. Like I don't care who they draw. I'm going to have them on upset alert right away in the NCAA tournament. But I know, like, Cal gets criticized for, and Arkansas got criticized in Nashville for late game stuff, and we did too, and it's valid. But if Buzz Williams wasn't getting that same heat for some of that nonsense, literally down the stretch of regulation and the first overtime and the second overtime, then people need to take another look, man, because they just had every opportunity to win that game several times and couldn't do it. And in fairness, Texas did too, but they finally got over the hump there. But that was a fun game, man. Trey Johnson's electric.
Yeah. One thing that sticks out to me watching these SEC tournament games and just seeing how close all these games are coming down to the wire, all these teams have different resumes. There's really not a whole lot of separation in terms of how good and how dangerous all of these squads are. And like, I think Texas A&M probably going to go further than Texas in the tournament if they even get in. But it's like, you just look around the league and it's like, there's going to be some teams that are 2 seeds like Tennessee that were like, I don't know if they're even really playing that well. And then you're going to have like a 9 or 10 seed in the SEC that's just super dangerous. It's a perfect microcosm of why March is so crazy, where these teams that are 17 and 13 can have this feel of like, you don't want to play them. But then you look at some of these teams that are going to be top 2 or 3 seeds in the tournament, and you're like, I don't know. They're kind of shaky. It's you kind of see the SEC showing why. It's fun because in years past, there really were only 3 or 4 good SEC teams. And so it's cool to see how deep the league is now. And the tournament's been fun to watch, and I'm glad we get to watch it as bystanders now.
What's crazy is I feel like Texas, are they giving you guys 2022 Texas A&M vibes here?
A little bit, yeah.
Like they get on a heater and everything.
Travesty when they don't get in, but we told you the conference tournament doesn't matter.
I know, because they might wind up with they will, unless they win the SEC tournament, the 15 losses, and that's not many teams get in with 15 losses. But they'll have a bunch of quad 1 wins and stuff. Like, it'll be crazy to see. You'll really be doing the thing, like you said, Andrew, of like, well, how much does the SEC tournament really matter? And you add that onto Rodney Terry just absolutely coaching for his job here, to where, like I still listen because I just consume all the basketball content I can find. But like Goodman was talking about Rodney Terry and how it's, kind of feels like even if they make the tournament and win a game, that dude's probably still fired anyway. So like, he's coaching for his job, and your backs are against the wall. They've responded a couple times. Like, if they beat Tennessee today, I'd have a hard time not include, like, who are you going to put in over them? Like North Carolina at this point, or Xavier with 1 quad 1. Like, I mean, my goodness, man.
It's just frustrating because you're like, dude, why couldn't you just beat Oklahoma? Like, what you're doing now is harder than just beating Oklahoma last week. Why didn't you just do that? You could have saved us all a lot of trouble.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. I mean, it is funny how just like there's been these teams that just refuse to die, and Texas has definitely been one of those teams. And, I enjoy watching Trey Johnson. I mean, that alone is worth, not saying that they'll get into the tournament and go to the Final Four, but, how many times have we seen just great players put their team on their back in the tournament and single-handedly deliver them? He's got that type of talent. He could end up doing it. But, yeah, Texas still survives. And as you said, playing Tennessee later today. Missouri ends up taking care of business against Mississippi State. That one didn't have as many fireworks, but 85-73. As the Mississippi State Bulldogs take another L, and now Missouri's advancing and moving on into the SEC tournament. But all right, we'll just go ahead and talk about it. Last night's game, late last night, Kentucky beats Oklahoma 85-84 on a game winner by Owe, who is the former Oklahoma player, and electric, whatever. But man, there was just so many moving parts to this, and I didn't stay up and watch. I went to bed. But when I woke up and I saw everyone tweeting about it, I was like, wow, because I went to bed. I think I went to bed and stopped watching it when Kentucky had like an 8-point lead at some point. And then I see that they had a 10-point lead with 1:26 to go and blew it. With the 1:26, Oklahoma gets up by 1, but then Owe hits the game-winning shot. Kentucky wins. But pretty incredible game, but what an epic collapse by Kentucky there at the end. That's impressive.
Well, I mean, it was another coronation and feather in the cap for Mark Pope and the incredible job he's done this season. Arkansas has literally done the exact same thing 3 times in the last 2 weeks and been absolutely crucified over it. I mean, they got that win over Mississippi State, and you got, literally national media members going, that's not the message you want to send to the NCAA selection tournament committee. If you're really a serious contender for an at-large bid here, it's quite the collapse. They won the game. People were doing it after the Texas win. People were doing it after the South Carolina win the other day. Just about, how, Calipari, my goodness. Kentucky just did the same thing, and they're getting their flowers for it. Here's the thing, though. Kudos to Kentucky. You won the game. Kudos to Kentucky. Lamont Butler goes down again with the shoulder injury. Who knows if he's going to be back? They deserve a lot of credit. They do. Mark Pope deserves a lot of credit for the job that he's done with this team. They've battled through adversity too. The difference really between Arkansas and Kentucky is Kentucky did a lot of their work early, right? They beat Duke, they beat Gonzaga, they got those good ones. And they've got some good wins in SEC play too now, but they also took on a lot of water during SEC play. I just don't understand why it's so difficult for people to make the distinction, right? Like Kentucky and Pope deserve a lot of credit for what they've done the seasons they have, and Cal and Arkansas deserve a lot of credit for what they've done down the stretch to get this thing back on the tracks and get into the NCAA tournament. Both of those things can be true, but for whatever reason, there's one side that seems to consistently need to make this a measuring contest, and usually the people that do that are the people that have some insecurities about it. And that's just what I don't understand about this thing. I give a lot of credit to Kentucky for winning that game. Sucks for Oklahoma, man, because they balled out and that would have been a big win for them, but it's basketball. It's the same thing that happened to Arkansas yesterday.
Is that twice now that Oklahoma has lost by 1 to Kentucky?
Yep. Because
in
of the same dude.
Month. If we lived in a just society, that would probably cost Oklahoma a chance, right? But apparently they're just, smooth sailing. They're going to be a damn 8 seed. But it's like, I feel like in Oklahoma can't go into Selection Sunday feeling that great, right?
Oh, they're locked.
They are, but it's crazy that they are. I mean, do they end up with 6, 7 conference wins? And then you go 1-1 in the tournament?
They have more quad 1 wins than Arkansas does.
Yeah. I hope. I mean, and look, the committee says they don't care about conference record at all. It is just crazy to me that, like, I guess they won 7 total conference games with the SEC tournament. It is crazy that there's so much of a lock. But if they're not even getting that narrative of like, oh, bad message to the committee, I don't know how Arkansas is getting that same narrative. When I feel like Arkansas's run at the SEC tournament was equal, if not better, and their season was better.
Yeah, you hit it on the head there, Curtis. Pretty much how I feel about it too. And I have said this many times. Like, I didn't really, I always didn't really like Kentucky, but I liked Pitino when he was there. I even liked Tubby Smith when he was there, and I really started to hate Kentucky when Cal was there. Was when it came out. But then when Cal left and became Arkansas's coach, I still didn't like Kentucky, but I didn't have this vitriol. And because of what's transpired this year, and I hate it, and I say they as in whether it's media or Kentucky fans or whatever, they have made me hate Kentucky, not because of them as a team or Mark Pope, because I do like Mark Pope. I have no problems with Mark Pope. I have no problems with any of their players. I have nothing, but they have been so obnoxiously awful and hypocritical and inconsistent on their approach to how they hold coaches to different standards and teams to different standards, that it has made me and forced me to have a strong disdain for them, probably more so than I ever have before. And I hate that because, again, I like everything beside it. But, I was thinking about this, and maybe I didn't look at all the right places. Like, that could be absolutely true. But you mentioned how, like, last night, it's all the celebrations and popping bottles. You would have thought they won the national championship and the way things happened and all that. It's like, hold on a second. That happens. But I remember after Arkansas had a similar situation against Mississippi State at home just a couple weeks ago where they had a big lead. They blew it. There was a chance for the other team to win, and they made a game-winning play. And I remember seeing people talking about, oh, lucky, or hey, it almost blew a choke job, like all this stuff. And I'm like, hold on a second. What is different here? What is the difference? Because to me, yes, you won the game, and that's most important. But to me, that was you gave up a 10-point lead in 80 seconds. You know how difficult that is to do? I don't care who's on the floor. I don't care what injuries you have. That's insane. But that's not even been a comment made by anybody. It's not even, great game, magical. The fans are here. It's electric. I mean, oh, wait, holy crap. You beat Oklahoma. He's the 14 seed in the SEC tournament. Like, I just don't. I mean, I get why it's all that way, but man, it just really heightens my hatred and angst where it's just so hypocritical and it doesn't make any sense, and it bothers me, and I hate that it does.
Yeah. Well, I hope that everybody understands it's a narrative thing.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what it is. It's a narrative. It's a media driven narrative, and people can choose to feel however they want to feel. And I said my piece on it. Like, I think it's weird that it has to be this constant comparison thing. And the only reason I bring it up here today is because it just consistently keeps getting brought up on a national scale, and it gets brought up on literally everything that I post about Arkansas. But it's flooded with that, and that's fine. It's all good. Like I said, credit to Kentucky for having a great season. Credit to them for not choking that game away yesterday, and credit to Arkansas for what they've overcome and getting to this point. Like, all those things can be okay. It's so weird.
Yeah. It is crazy how, I mean, look, I'm not sitting here trying to like get involved in the small smack talk. It's just crazy how many victory laps are being taken right now. When really, like I said, on Sunday, we're going to see the bracket. Everything resets. Everything resets, and it's just kind of, here's the situation. Let's go out there and play, and we'll just see how it plays out. I don't know if anybody right now is feeling super great, but it's crazy how many people are jumping to like these crazy, like, we told you here, another remarkable accomplishment. It's like next week is when you get to really do that. So you kind of expect those narratives to start flying once you start playing in the tournament that matters. But it is crazy how this SEC tournament is like apparently the most important sporting event of all time. We didn't get that memo going into the week. I would have treated this whole situation very differently had I gotten the memo that this is the most important. You know how they say it's the most important election of our generation every 4 years? Yeah. This is the most important SEC tournament of our generation, allegedly.
It's true. It's going to dictate it all. Yeah. And again, I know that we've talked a lot about it, but my only final thing is on this too. I think it would be different if it was like sometimes there was, there's just no compliments. There's no like giving credit where credit is due towards a thing that maybe Cal did or that Arkansas did, at least not from the same perspective. It could be one thing if, you at least got that sometimes, but it's just not that way. And remember that, I'm sure you guys do, but remember those graphics I would make at the beginning of the season where it was like, John Calipari is 1-0 in games on a Monday night in Madison Square Garden, and Mark Pope's 0-1, because that's all it was doing. Everyone was just comparing this stuff. And it's like at some point in time, as you said, Curtis, like you can have it all be true at the same time. Like you can have that. You can be both teams are good. Both coaches are doing a good job. Both teams are dealing with adversity from injuries and they're overcoming that. It just let it be that. But the funniest thing, I've always felt like Arkansas basketball, especially Nolan Richardson even talked about this, us against the world mentality. Like everybody doesn't care about us. We're the dumb kids. We're, the style of basketball we play and all that. I honestly thought there'd be a little bit of that going away when John Calipari came in, because suddenly it's like, oh, now you get the respect because you got John Calipari. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Now it's us against the world once again, but just for different reasons, because everybody doesn't really like your coach. But still, it's fun. It makes for great, like, intense, because that's what you want is emotion and intensity. But it just gets frustrating sometimes. It gets frustrating after a while. But we'll see. We'll see what the NCAA tournament holds. Speaking of that, though, real quick, we'll get to your chats too. But as of right now, guys, Auburn and Ole Miss, the game that Arkansas would have been playing in if they would have held on last night or yesterday, Auburn leads 22-18. Really barn burner, high scoring game with 3:51 left to play in the first half. So not exactly a great shooting day for both teams, but just to give everyone an update on that one. Because Auburn's shooting 27. Oh, no, sorry. Auburn's shooting 38% from the field. Ole Miss is shooting 27% from the field.
Auburn better win.
It's true. It's true. If they don't, they didn't care enough.
Our boy Quinn's going to be in shambles if they don't win.
Poor Quinn.
I think Quinn was drunk yesterday.
He really is one of those people who's like, he's living and dying with this SEC tournament.
Yeah, man.
He didn't care about the tournament next week at all. He's like, we got to get that hardware, bro.
Hey, Quinn was my source yesterday, because he was in there in the arena early, and he was like, hey, man, just want to let you know Big Z's warming up. I was like, oh, that's good. I was like, can you get close enough to see, like, has he got that thumb wrapped up or whatever? And he's like, yeah, looks like it. Maybe not that much tapes. He was helping me out. Good man.
Yeah. Yeah, Quinn is the boots on the ground for for Nashville and all that too. Yeah, I'll hope for Quinn's health that it goes well for him today, just for his own sake, because I know he really wants it. Also, the rest of the day plays out this way, where Texas and Tennessee play at 2:30, reportedly on ESPN. That basically flipped because all the games early yesterday, SEC Network, then flipped to ESPN. Now it's the different thing. Where at 6 p.m., Missouri and Florida play each other on the SEC Network. And then at 8:30, Kentucky and Bama play in that one. I guess I should have mentioned this, but Tennessee's favored by 9.5, according to BetSaracen. You have Florida favored by 9.5, according to BetSaracen. And Bama's favored by 7.5, according to BetSaracen for the games today. So I have a feeling that Kentucky-Alabama game is going to get off the walls. Like both teams are going to score 110 points. I think it has that potential. Did they give an update on Lamont Butler yet on his situation? Do you know?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if I missed something or whatnot. But all right, let's get back into your chats, folks, here on the show. Appreciate everyone tuning in with us. Let's see. Like Hunter ratio. I know it's not going to happen, but what would be your reactions if we were left out on Sunday, January 6th? That's all I'm going to say.
We wouldn't have to react to anything. That would be all.
I'd say we'd let y'all do the reacting. We would just give you a platform to react to it. That would be something. That'd be fun.
I would go silent for sure. I'd be sitting here crashing out, just silent.
Yep. That's truly it. We'd be sitting here and they announce like they're at the 62nd team and we're like, okay, what's going on here? And then it could get nasty. Glenn says, what do y'all think about Texas looking at Cal as their next head coach?
That's not going to happen.
No.
John, you know the sound to play right now.
It's all fake, but a little shit.
It's true. Yeah.
That went through my head when I first read that.
That's good. Yeah. I saw somebody tweet that at me too, and I'm like, you're out of your mind. Like, that's such a dumb thing. It was kind of like when, crazy to think about this, but back when Sam Pittman was doing really well and he's a hot commodity and people were connecting him. I forgot which job it was. He's like, oh, he may be going to this job. I'm like, no, like, do you not understand what is going on here? You just because it's almost like people's like, oh, big school money, therefore big coach. It's a little bit more complicated than that these days.
Texas basketball ain't moving like that. That little rinky-dink ass arena, nah. This is Texas. The Texas football, they can steal your coach no matter what. If they want. If Texas football wants Sam Pittman, they will get Sam Pittman. I don't think Texas basketball is moving like that.
No.
They're about to be moving right into Will Wade.
That's dangerous.
Which, that would be a good hire. I'd be
we
scared
can add
of
that to the list.
Mm-hmm.
They got a 3-year interim as the coach right now. I don't know if they're moving like that where they can just hire anyone they want.
Dude, I was thinking about that of like just the Texas job and who would want it and everything. But if they got Will Wade, it'd be tough. But Chris Beard, dude, I know that things have happened with Texas, but that probably helped avoid a lot of issues with him being, if he would still been the coach, because that team he had the year he's fired was loaded. Like, he could be rolling right now if he was still at Texas. Just saying. But thankfully he's not, and he's at a program that doesn't really care.
Wouldn't it be funny if his name got in the mix?
I was gonna say, dude,
bring him home. Yeah, Bobby Petrino. Yeah, bring him home. Just do it.
Well, I mean, and I was even thinking Bobby Petrino at Louisville. Yeah, he had that second stint at Louisville.
Yeah. So I'm saying, bring him home, just like in that situation. I wonder if. I mean, I don't even know if the AD is still the same guy that fired him. Maybe it is, but I'd be pretty shocked still if that happened. It'd be funny though. Let's see. Robert says, Curtis, how many bid stealers are left? I heard there was only 2 after yesterday.
Yeah, not many, man. Really not many. There's none in the Big 12. There's none in the Big 10. There's none in the Big East left. None in the SEC. I mean, I guess you could call Texas one if they wound up winning the whole thing, I guess. Just like I guess you could call North Carolina one, technically, if they won the ACC. But like both of those teams are right now, their last 4 in or first 4 out. So it's I don't know if that really counts technically. The Mountain West, you probably want to keep an eye on with Colorado State. I think that would be the team who could really steal a bid. The American, anybody not named Memphis, who could win that one would be a bid stealer. Some people talk about the A-10. I'm not seeing it, man. Because at this point, if VCU takes on another loss here in their conference tournament, that's like they're not really going to have an at-large case. So I don't think it'd be a bid. I think it's just a 1-bid league. And then the Big West. So a lot of people are trying to do the thing with UC San Diego and UC Irvine. And that's nice and everything, but there's just no way in hell they're taking 2 teams out of that league. So I really think there's only a very small handful that could potentially happen, which is another reason why Arkansas, I think, is very, very, very safe, because I know people see them in like the last 4 buys or whatever in certain people's brackets, and you're like, oh my God, they're still on the bubble. Well, most of the selections will be made by the end of the day today. There's not many opportunities out there. Most of the teams below you have already lost, so there's not a lot of pass you opportunities there for that much movement, and there's not enough bid stealers to kick you out of the field. So they're fine. I think absolute worst case scenario, like if every potential bid to be stolen got stolen, and you had some wild stuff with teams winning their conference tournaments or whatever, worst case you would go to Dayton. But I think that's pretty damn unlikely too. So
yeah, there's not 7 bid stealers left.
Yeah, they're just not there, man.
Yeah. I wanted to address this guy because he's like, hey, Arkansas was talking smack before the season. You have to admit, plus if you reverse the situation with Arkansas coach leaving and going to Kentucky, it would have been that much different. I don't know if you could play the what if scenarios because, Arkansas didn't have a coach that was here for 15 years or whatever and won a national championship and 5 Final Fours and all of that. Like, I don't know if it would be different, but yeah, I was talking smack, of course, but there's a difference between like talking smack because it's the SEC and it's fun and it's like you got a coach that you're really happy with, but it's a whole nother thing where you would rather your biggest rival beat the team that your ex-coach is coaching than root for the other way around. Like that to me is a whole nother level of stuff.
Here's another difference. When Arkansas feels good about themselves, it's just about, hey, we think we're awesome. We love our team. We love our roster. We love Boogie Flan. We think we're gonna win a ton of games this year. We can't wait to watch the team. It's very rare that Arkansas fans are looking around and being like, what's Eric Musselman doing? Are we better? What's Kentucky doing? Are we better? Arkansas, and look, we'll do that when we're playing teams, of course, and we'll get involved with the rivalry. But for Kentucky, it's like every single thing that happens, it immediately becomes well, what's Arkansas doing? Are we better than them? Yeah, we're better than Arkansas. Screw you. We just like our team. So yeah, we felt good about our team. We adjusted our expectations. They've achieved those expectations. We're doing good. Don't worry about us. Just leave us alone.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I want. Just leave us alone. That's the best.
When it all went down, Arkansas fans were talking trash. Kentucky fans were talking trash. That was part of it. Kentucky got off to a better start. They had the head-to-head game. Arkansas won. It's just with the ebbs and flows of it. That's just kind of how it works. And it's whatever. At some point I would hope that again, is probably a vocal minority would be just excited for their own team and not worry about the comparison stuff there. That's what's kind of strange to me. But I more get irritated by the national narrative. Like, I mean, if we're gonna crown somebody for blowing a 10-point lead in a minute and winning a game, Cal's been great at that this year. So, I mean, at least give him some flowers too, man. Dang.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like the Mississippi State game. I'm like, dude, you didn't get any credit for that crap. But yeah, now it's like, but when Pope does it or somebody else does it, then, oh my goodness, just what a clinic he put on.
And we appreciate the super chat. I've seen a lot of this today about like, what is Curtis upset about? Why is he worked up? Am I coming across as like, it's an honest question.
No, I mean, not to me.
I mean, when you were getting after old boy, it was still funny.
As a douchebag, but
yeah. But it wasn't even like, you haven't been that crazy.
Yeah, I'd say, like worked up is not something that I would like put any of us in that position at all right now, but especially Curtis. It's just part of it. Maybe people are trying to have
a logical conversation.
Maybe they just want to
giving Kentucky their credit and saying Cal should get his too. I guess that's got me worked up. I don't know.
Yeah. I was say maybe they're just trying to bait you into doing it because they love seeing.
I guess so.
Up. Yeah, maybe that's the case.
Not today, man.
Yeah, but say it's Friday. can't be worked up on a Friday.
Yeah, come on.
Tell you what, we'll get to more of your chats here, folks, too. But I want to remind everybody that we're presented by BetSaracen, #1 sports betting app here in the state of Arkansas, especially with the NCAA tournament coming up, folks. You want to start winning some money. Like, it's fun to do bracketology or the bracket challenges, which we're going to have one here at Inside Arkansas, so be on the lookout for that. But when you get to actually bet on all the games and feel good about the upsets and go for that big money. The NCAA tournament's where it's at, and there's only one place you need to do it here in the state of Arkansas. It's with BetSaracen. You can download the app on your iPhone or on your Android. You can also get to betting and get to winning at BetSaracen.com. I just wanted to play this because speaking of that, y'all see, I believe this is the video. Hopefully it is. There was an altercation with the USC basketball team last night with a security guard and a Purdue fan. Take a look. Terrible.
You guys remember the season right before Muss came to Arkansas when that happened with his Nevada team? I can't remember if they were like BYU or Utah State or something, and they had the kid got mad and he punched the fire extinguisher thing and broke the glass, and it was the whole big ordeal.
Yes.
That's what last night reminded me of.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's been a Muss staple, I would say, like post-game notable things happening. Because I remember going back to that's when he really started the shirt off thing. Like, Muss is going to muss no matter where you put him.
Yes, yeah, he is.
They did kind of get screwed last night, by the way.
I didn't watch the game. So what happened with that?
It was some of the same things Arkansas was complaining about yesterday with maybe some missed travels, some no calls. You can look at a bunch of different things over the course of a 40-minute game, but in that final little minute, 30 seconds there, it was like, wow, that's tough, man. They definitely didn't get the benefit of the calls, and Muss was mad about it. And he was like, he didn't outright say it, but he was pretty much insinuating, like, we get it. We're the new guys. We're in the West Coast. Purdue is going to drive the revenue here and get the butts in the seats. So it is what it is kind of deal. I'm paraphrasing. It wasn't a direct quote, but that's pretty much what he was getting at. And I was like, oh boy.
Dude, I love that, man, because he's all of us. He's literally a fan, just like, because that's the type of stuff that fans would also say too. It's just like, yeah, I mean, how are we expecting to get the calls here in Nashville? I know no Kentucky's going to get all the calls because all that. It's like, it's so great, man. I just love that. Yeah, so that happened last night. And then also I saw Fran McCaffrey got ejected. I mean, come on, man. How are you getting ejected in your conference tournament?
In your last game, bro.
Yeah.
A lot of people think he's going to get fired or step down or whatever. So,
I mean,
I was thinking, are they that bad this year?
Actually, I didn't even see what the record was.
Like 500. Yeah.
Yeah. They're 17-16, 7-13 in the conference. So just one game above USC and Muss. Arkansas has a losing record at 16-17, or USC, has a losing record 16-17. So, yeah, he got ejected. Do you guys remember because what was the team he was with before Iowa? I'm trying to remember which team he coached. But anyways, he came and the team that he's with before coached and played in Arkansas. Oh, it was Siena. That's right. Pretty sure it was him. And he came in, and I remember he started yelling at Razorback fans for not getting their butts in the seats. I'm pretty sure that was him. And in the post-game press conference, he's like, you better come watch this team. This is a good team now. Y'all better come watch this team. And it was like mad at the Razorback fans. I was like, dude, this is like a nonchalant game in non-conference play in November. Relax. But I'm pretty sure that was him. But yeah, that was pretty funny. That's the thing I remember from him. So let's see. Also, it's halftime, by the way, 29-22, Auburn and Ole Miss. Are you guys still taking Auburn to win the SEC title? The tournament title it is? Like, you still banking on them?
I think I've been Florida the whole time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Who does Florida have to play?
Pick.
What's their path?
They get Missouri today.
That's a dub.
And then I'm not sure who after that.
Yeah. I guess it would
maybe
be
Auburn. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it actually would be, if considering the setup of it. No, actually, it would be, so the winner of, say if Auburn wins this, they play the winner of Texas, Tennessee, and then the winner of Bama and Kentucky would play Florida if they beat Missouri. So, yeah. But, yeah, Florida's not a bad bet at all. So, but, yeah, you could check that out, too. And also, there was, I don't know, like, I feel like it's going to be something random where Bama wins it just because it's like one of those weird years where they just don't, they can't be stopped scoring wise, and then they just find a way to kind of fall backwards into it.
Yeah. Or Tennessee, who it might be just the most slept on, and maybe for good reason, but like potential 1 seed in history. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but every time I watch them, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying, like, Final Four national champion kind of thing. I don't know if this is the one for Rick Barnes, but
No, I totally agree. And I'm just wondering, is it Rick Barnes? Is that the reason why? Because that's the reason I feel like it's that case of where everyone's just like, yeah, okay, whatever.
I think it's their roster.
I was going to say, I look at it and I compared them to some of the past Tennessee teams, most of which didn't make a great run. And so I'm like, is the worst Tennessee team of this last 5 years, is this going to be the one that makes like the Final Four national title game? Nah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a very deep team, especially after the Estrella kid got hurt in the post. But, I mean, they're going to have guys like Ziegler. You better hope he's making shots. I mean, he's great in so many other ways, but if not, it's like you really need Chaz Lanier to get on heaters, because they start Meshack on the wing, who's a great defender, but like he can't score. You know what I mean? And then you got Milicic, who is pretty good as a stretch four, but then their big man's not really a scoring threat. He's just a lob guy. They don't have a lot of firepower off the bench. Gainey's inconsistent. So he's a great coach. They're going to play great defense, but I don't know if they've got the firepower to get there unless like all the conditions are right for them on those given days. And they have been at times, but for 6 games, I don't know, man.
By the way, Curtis just apparently fired Fran McCaffrey because it literally just came out that they have parted ways with Fran McCaffrey. So
was that like a Wilk bomb? Is that
yeah, a Wilk bomb? He's the one that spoke it into existence, and then they're like, "Oh, Curtis talked about it. Hit the trigger. Let's go."
Hey, I bet that coach from Drake is going to be a hot commodity for them at Iowa. That makes way too much sense.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, let's get to your chats. We'll have an Arkansas update too, folks, here in just a little bit, because I know I don't want to miss out on too much more. Man, it's like these Kentucky fans are coming in here. It's like I said, I'll take Pope 1,000% over past prime Cal.
Well, I started that, and I was just going to say you don't have a choice. Like you got your wish. This is you have Pope, and Cal probably is past his prime. I mean, he's 65. You know, like
yeah, but. I'd still.
Why
I don't
are
know.
you here telling us this?
Yeah.
Like, why are you here telling us? Like, who asked?
Maybe he has his Toby Keith year, and Arkansas fans will be super thrilled with that. You know.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so, because it's like, I don't know. I'd still take a Hall of Fame coach that can still get the best talent in the country to his school, even if it's past his prime. I'll take that over a coach that could end up being really good, but is very unproven. It's just me.
Jury's still out.
Yeah, it is. Eddie Congress, what a great name. He says, it's not us against the world. There are literally 2 fan bases that give a crap about Cal and Arkansas. To every other fan base, Cal is just a washed up coach looking for the lost glory.
Well, there might be something. There might be some truth to the fan base thing, but it's a nationally driven narrative on Cal, and I think like if hey, hell, if Kentucky fans were in the same situation, and maybe you were in the past. You can kind of remember how you felt when your head coach, who even when you felt like he was doing a really good job, was just getting drugged constantly and heavily scrutinized and under the microscope at all times. And hey, when your guy starts getting heat up, you're going to take offense to it. Like that's like you're more sensitive to that stuff. It's just kind of how it works. It's natural, I think, for Arkansas fans to be riled up about that, and they should be.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's. You guys, and I say you guys, like Kentucky fans, national people, whoever, put Arkansas fans on the defensive, because we really like don't talk about this kind of stuff much. But then when you come in here and you're like, Cal sucks, Cal sucks, Cal sucks, now we kind of have to respond. And so it's like, if you would just shut up about it, we would all be fine. But and there is definitely something to the fact that not every fan base is worried about Cal.
No, that's something that like there's an interest there because it is Cal and everything, and Arkansas is just taking the strays from it seems like. But here's the thing: if Arkansas goes on a run in this NCAA tournament, and if Kentucky goes on a run in the NCAA tournament, great. You should be happy for your coach. Don't worry about Arkansas. Worry about yourself. And and I think we can also put the narrative down of so many people just being like, oh, all these Arkansas fans saying that we're obsessed with Calipari. Like, oh, don't say anything about him because they'll say you're obsessed. No, you're obsessed. It is.
It really comes down to like, I'm okay with the premise. If Arkansas gets blown out next week in their 7-10 game and you want to come out here and dunk on us, that kind of makes sense. Like Cal losing in the first round, that's when I expect the dunking. I don't know why it happens every day at lunchtime on a random Thursday.
I don't know either, but it's like clockwork, though. It certainly seems like. All right, let's keep it moving here. We appreciate everybody tapping in with us. Get your Arkansas update presented by Davis and Garrett Insurance, your independent auto owners insurance agency, securing what matters the most. Again, we'll be waiting on Selection Sunday. As a reminder, we'll do a live stream for that with the tournament bracket, field of 68 being put together, and we'll have a bracket challenge as well via ESPN. Always would piss me off when I worked at a certain place that they did it on Yahoo Sports, and I wanted to die every single time. I'm like, stop. Just do it easy like everybody else. But we're going to make it easy. We're going to do it on ESPN.com. So we'll have a bracket challenge, have some awards to give out, whoever ends up winning that. But we'll have a lot of fun with that too. And we'll see where Arkansas ends up making it. But
we might need to give some kind of consolation prize for best bracket name.
I think we have to do that.
Yeah, like it's super creative. If you have one that gets a belly laugh out of all three of us, we might have to come up with something for you.
Yeah.
And it really might just be as simple as we talk about you on the show.
Exactly. Yeah. We pull it up and give you kudos, give you your flowers.
If someone has like a really crazy bracket that like ends up being one of the best in the country or something like that, we'll play it by ear. We might have a celebration for you.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll give you something, you weirdos out there that have a terrible bracket, but at least you came up with a good name. We'll give you something for it. But yeah, it'll be a lot of fun though. I love bracket challenges with a huge group of people. It's always a lot of fun. Especially seeing how usually mine goes so bad that I'm so down low on the list of rankings that people just rip me for. They're like, oh, fuck, yeah, what'd you think? I'm like, yeah, sorry. It's completely unpredictable. It's like,
mine was so bad last year that had a lot of people just like on our Pod the Palace when we were going live. They were like, you're the basketball guy.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe not.
It's a humbling time of year for sure.
It is.
Yeah. It's you think but it's usually, and at least when I've done the office pools and whatnot, it's always that person that just does not even watch basketball and does not even care that ends up winning it. But that's what makes it fun. It really does. It really makes it fun. But also for Razorback baseball side of things, 2:00 today is when the first SEC game, as Andrew pointed out, not only of the Razorback season, but just of the SEC season in general, got moved up to 2 p.m. due to weather today against Ole Miss. You'll be able to check that on SEC Network Plus with old Root getting the start for the Razorbacks as the ace there. And I saw they just put out the lineup. Got Davlon, Aloy, Maxwell, Aloy. I just should say Big Aloy, Baby Aloy, in that way. And then Iredale, Pepe, Helfrich, Souza, and Thomas Jr. So that game starts off.
Yeah, good to see Pepe in there against the left-handed starter, seeing if he can take advantage of it, see if he can mash from the right side. I like that. And yeah, I like the opportunity to get a SEC win before anyone's played a game. A little surprised they're not doing a doubleheader today. It looks like it's going to just rain all day tomorrow in Oxford. Sunday's pretty clear, so maybe they end up doing 2 7-innings on Sunday. But I would have thought that today would be the day you'd get 2 in. But we'll see how it goes. I'm excited for the action, and there's going to be some really good left-handed arms throwing today. Not going to be a high-scoring affair if I had to guess, but feeling good about the Hogs' chances.
Well, I like it too. And if they win today, I'm going to feel even better about it, them winning the series if they win today. But yeah, the weather should be interesting to see what the factor, how it all turns out and everything. But again, going to have a 2 p.m. action and SEC Network Plus, and also going to have some bombastic coverage this weekend with Andrew. Going to be taking care of business there too. So
I've got some props to deliver. Couple that caught my eye. I want to shout out our boy Hayden Ulmer, who DM'd me with this earlier. Wahiva Aloy, over 1.5 RBIs, over 0.5 strikeouts. All he has to do is strike out once, something he doesn't mind doing, and he has to drive in 2 runs. That's plus 350.
Dude, okay,
the odds are kind of crazy on some of these like top hitters, like Brent Iredale. It's like plus 105 to hit a home run, and I'm like, that just don't even bother betting on that. That's kind of not worth it. Wahiva Aloy to strike out and to drive in 2 runs. I really like that, and I love that it's plus 350 rather than like plus 105. And in terms of Root, he's pretty consistent at working deep into games. He threw 80 pitches last week on Saturday. Now he's throwing on Friday, so a day less of rest, but he didn't throw that much last week. I think he's going to throw upwards near 100 pitches. I have him over 90.5 total pitches and over 4.5 hits allowed. That is plus 185. Now he has to give up 5 hits, which, isn't ideal, but if he's going 6, maybe even 7 innings, not really that big of a deal. If he ends up giving up fewer than 5 hits, I think Arkansas is in very good shape. So it's kind of a way to hedge. If he ends up pitching so well that he throws 100 pitches and doesn't, I don't think there's any scenario where he like gives up 8 hits and doesn't get out of the 3rd inning or something like that. I think he's going to go 5, 6, 7 innings. He's going to throw 100 pitches, and all he's got to do is give up 5 hits. Then you have to do anything else.
I like that. Yeah, I went ahead and bet on some of the ones you just said. I actually just put a bet on too. The will there be an extra inning plus 1,000? I'm like, dude,
why not?
Yeah, I could see it happening, man. It could be a 4-4 game by the end of it. I mean, it could absolutely happen. So, yeah, some good specials there on SARACEN. But yeah, it's gonna. The game time staying the same for Saturday and Sunday though, right?
Yeah, it's still 1:30 Saturday and Sunday, at least for now. Tomorrow, everyone be on the lookout because tomorrow could get hairy weather-wise. Maybe they'll start it, delay. Like it looks like it's going to be at least based on the very half-assed research I've done on the weather for Oxford this weekend. It does look like it could get a little hairy, be a little wet conditions, but we'll make it work.
Hey, you mentioned Hayden Ulmer there DMing you, and that reminded me. I just want to say this right now, Hayden. I'm about to get into your business, man. But I'm still catching up on DMs and messages and everything from the announcement with me and Michelle earlier in the week, and again, like, good Lord, man, all the comments and the messages and everything. We really do appreciate that. That's awesome. Makes us feel like we got one big family. It's very cool. One of them that I haven't gotten back to yet, but I saw it. Hayden has turned me on to this idea. It was funny because you know how you only see like the beginning part of a DM or a message or whatever. And I saw his, I guess it was either this morning or last night. And it starts with, I am not a father. And I was like, I don't know where this is headed. But he has turned me on to the idea of a diaper kegger. Have you guys ever done a diaper kegger or heard of a diaper kegger?
I have not. No.
Apparently it's like a dude's version of a baby shower or something.
Oh,
where you get a couple kegs and you have the bros come hang out and you grill, you barbecue or whatever. And the price of admission is like a case of diapers or whatever. So it's like seems like a pretty good idea. I just want to throw that out there that I will be responding personally to the DM, but that's a very interesting idea. It's on my mind, and it would only be fair for an invite to be thrown your way if we wind up doing it. So be on the lookout for that.
Dude, I love the idea. I've heard of stuff like that, but like, we could really, depending on how many people you wanted there, we could blow it up. You could end up being like the weddings that they would have in Goodfellas, where everyone just got just coming in with diapers, and you have diapers for you and your next 8 kids that you're about to have. So
yes, no,
yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I do want to say too, I'm pretty good about DMs and everything on Twitter. If you hit me on Instagram, it might be months before I see it. Like I don't get on there, and sometimes I do, and I'll see something and it's like, 34 days old, you have a message, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not purposely ignoring anybody. If you hit me up on IG, that's my bad.
Yeah, dude, and that's my thing is like, I'm the same way, because I don't know if you guys have this happen where people will DM you and it gets stuck in the like DM request. Mm-hmm. And I never checked that. And there's been not a whole lot, but there's been some occasions people get so pissed at me because I did not respond to them. I'm like, I am sorry. Like I just don't. I try to get to DMs too the same way, whether it's Instagram or whatnot. Because I see Trey's talking about TikTok. Now, buddy, if you're DMing me on TikTok,
don't DM me on TikTok.
Don't do that.
I don't even have TikTok. Yeah, I gotta get up with the times on that.
Do not DM me on TikTok.
No, because and to be honest, speaking of, I know maybe you guys understand. Remember that DM that I got for the Arkansas-Texas A&M game this past time? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That guy came back into my TikTok DMs, and I had to block him on that too. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's still a thing. I don't know. Hey, we may need the extra money whenever we go to the NCAA tournament if we have to go to San Fran. So maybe I'll have to make a trip down there to Dallas.
We've already told you about other ways, John, that you can address funds.
Like your ways are not ways; they're just like fantasy world over there. Like, ain't happening. But hey, shout out to Whitty for a super chat. We appreciate you, Whitty. He says, driving down to Little Rock for gymnastics state championship for my daughter. Need baseball to win to make that loss yesterday not hurt so bad. Go Hogs. Well,
yeah.
Hopefully you're not this weekend. Hopefully you're not chatting and driving. But, yeah,
we'll get it done. Get that dub.
Yeah.
Gold medal, I guess, would be a medal in gymnastics.
I always wonder how that works with gymnastics. Like if you win the college gymnastics national championship, do you get a medal or do you get a trophy?
I think they
probably
have
a trophy and
awards for each event.
And there's individual medals champion.
There might be a trophy for the all-around champion or something like that, but I think really it's just like you play second on beam, third on whatever.
Sorry, I actually just like the sports that teams win. Not individual awards and stuff.
Mhm.
I like team sports.
Is gymnastics done with their home stuff?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Home, yeah. They should be going up. They should be going SEC tournament here soon, and then NCAAs after that. They'll probably host.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Which I still don't know. I need to get in with the times of how that works.
I think they do the 4-team regional thing. I think there's 16 hosts.
Oh, see, my bad. Tonight is the final match against Missouri. So it's
So they're at home tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So yeah, and Missouri's number 7. Did not know that in gymnastics. Did not know that.
Nice.
So yeah. Either way,
Was that a reaction to Missouri's ranking?
That was a reaction to an Ole Miss player putting it on Dylan Cardwell's head.
I thought you were just really stunned by Missouri having a top 10 gymnastics program.
Oh man, no. They stripped Cardwell in the paint and then went coast to coast, and he tried to block it, and it didn't work out for him.
yeah,
Oh no! Whoa! Wow! It's actually not what happened. They
Yeah.
showed the replay, and Cardwell dunked it in.
Wow, he did. Holy crap. That's funny.
This is breaking. Hit the button. Arkansas is not the only team in the country that has scored for its opponent this season. Auburn's Dylan Cardwell just did it. That was nuts, dude.
that may have been worse than like the Brazil stuff and all that, because at least that was just like a tip up act. Like he got his hand like in the goal. Like it went in.
He did, man. That was crazy.
That's
Okay.
brutal.
All right.
That's
Wow.
brutal. Some of them
Real time stuff here.
Yeah. At least Auburn got it back, because that's what Arkansas did it against Auburn that time. Let's see. A super chat from our guy Steven says, turkey season and SEC baseball here in North Mississippi. LFG. Beat the hell out of Ole Piss. Love the content. Thanks, guys. Cheers. Hey, thanks, Steven.
Appreciate that.
Turkey season.
Is it turkey season?
Apparently. I don't know. I'm not big on the hunting seasons, to be honest. But I've always wondered how that works. I have a buddy of mine that hunts all the time, and I just feel like it's like we're trying to plan something. But it's actually this season. I'm not going to make it. It's like, man, is there a season all the time for no matter?
I've been
what
told that turkey hunting is some of the best hunting. I don't know if that's true or
Gobble.
not. I haven't gone hunting since I went to college and stuff. But we used to go deer hunting all the time.
Yeah.
I went duck hunting a couple times, but never turkey.
I feel like duck hunting's got to be the hardest.
See, I've heard that duck hunting is the most fun because you don't have to worry about being quiet. You can just go crazy out there.
Yeah, but you're shooting. I mean, you got the sky. Depending on how the sky is, it's probably tough. You're just shooting up. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a harder, and they're moving fast.
But don't you shoot? I could be wrong.
Hunter Cabela. It's hard to duck hunt.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I'm a big outdoorsman, obviously, but I'm pretty sure. Don't you like shoot like it's almost like a spread of a gun that like will hit multiple targets? I don't know. I could just, I could just be making stuff up here, man. Like
this is for all the people who are like, "Hey, you guys should do Inside Arkansas Outdoors." And, have a segment
between
of
the 3 of us, we can maybe figure out the answer to some questions, but not a ton of hunting expertise on this show.
Nope. In fact, if you ever ask about hunting or fishing or anything like that, we'll either tell you to go check out all the people that wear Fayetteville Flyco stuff, or you can talk to your buddies down there. Yeah, there you go.
I got my favorite Flyco on right now.
There you go.
I'm a Bass Pro. I'm an outdoorsman, bro.
Yeah, but say you got the long hair.
I'm outdoorsy, bro.
This is definitely going to be the Inside Arkansas Outdoor Special hosted by Andrew Ellis. We got
Yeah, I was like, I like, if you looked at me from the right angle, you'd be like, this guy, he probably hunts and fishes. Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like he's gone out there and put some deer urine on his boots. Yeah,
I would go fishing right now. If you guys said, "Hey, let's take a fishing trip," I'd be in 100%.
Like fly fishing or just fishing, like good old fashioned fishing.
Either or.
Yeah. I
like being in a boat.
The last time I went fishing was deep sea fishing in Gulf Shores. And the guy who was driving our thing got the gaff, and he was going to get it and went straight through his hand.
Oh.
And then he yanked it out, and we were like, dude, you can take us back, man. It's cool. And he's like, no. Threw some hydrogen peroxide on there and just kind of bandaged it up.
No.
Went right to town, bro. He didn't care. Ate it. I was going to throw up.
What I did more than anything in my youth was frog gigging. You ever go frog gigging?
Was that?
But I know a lot of people who did, though, growing up.
You just get in a truck and go to the ditches and stab frogs with spears and hope that you don't stab a cottonmouth.
Oh, see, I don't want to do that then.
Hmm?
I don't like snakes. I'm not a snake person.
Get you a little kebab.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I feel like if I was going to do hunting, I'd do gator hunting because I want to go on a fan boat.
Gator hunting.
Yeah, gator hunting. It'd be fun.
I heard that can be like a several hours long process, like how that goes. In fact, I listened to a Theo Vaughn episode where he interviewed a guy who caught a large gator, and he talked about the whole process and how challenging it is. Like a
John,
marathon.
as an expert, I grew up with gators in my backyard. You do not want to hunt gators. Like that's a high risk maneuver. Like people do it and die all the time. Like seriously.
I know, but
it's like gators are not the one to mess around with.
But in that like what you want to do, if you're going to do it, go all out, man. If you want to conquer something, conquer a gator.
I want to be far away. Like I deer hunting would probably be the most ideal hunting for me. Like it's just far away. If I miss it, you know, it's not really a like you suck because you miss it, but like, you know, it's not like I'm gonna die if I miss this.
Yeah. Well, I just want to have the feel of a warrior, you know, because I don't want to hunt down something that can't attack me and can't hurt me. You know, we're going to have a one-on-one matchup. You know, that's the way I look at it.
I have a buddy who was kind of his family had a little bit of money. They used to go to this place in Texas, the same place that the Duck Dynasty folks used to go, and it's like an enclosure almost, but it's like huge, and you can like pick your deer out ahead of time.
See, that's
for like several $1,000s. It's like, yep.
That's
and
nuts.
he was like, "Hey, don't shoot that one. Cy Robertson's coming to kill that next week."
Oh man, is there I know. Hey, listen, we're closing up the show. It's fine. We mail it in. Is there a certain like? I think maybe we've even talked about this, but I love deer meat. Like deer meat's awesome.
Yeah, deer meat's good.
Like,
Yeah,
like what's y'all's other than just the basics you can go to Walmart and get? But like, what is there any meats that you guys enjoy? Deer meat, deer chili, anything like that?
Squirrel ain't bad.
I've never had squirrel.
Squirrel's not bad.
It's okay. It's a little gamey for me. Duck is an acquired taste.
Yeah, I've had duck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Deer
I prefer any way that you can make it too. Like
backstrap, man. Yeah. Do not ever eat raccoon.
There's not much better on this planet than a good pile of deer jerky, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do y'all eat frog legs?
I've eaten frog legs. Yeah.
They're okay. Yeah. I'm just not my favorite.
I'm not into the frog leg for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Y'all had rabbit?
Yeah, I've had rabbit before.
I don't mind rabbit either.
But I like duck and deer better than rabbit.
Yeah. You guys ever had chicken feet?
I've never had.
I have before. Yeah.
I used to, when I was working at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, there was a guy that I worked with. His name was Detropolis Swain Tompkins Jr., but his name was Detro. But he said he had to call him HBO because he helped brothers out. Anyways, he was from Houston, and he was a phenomenal cook. Like he would bring in, but it was the most obscure stuff, and he brought in chicken legs or chicken feet, and he's like, "Hey, try this." He always called me white boy, but he's like, "Try this, white boy, try this." And I like ate it. I was like, it's so much flavor because you like season it so much, but there's not like any substance to it. So, but he loved those chicken feet, and it was just interesting to like, you know, it's just because they sell it and people eat it. But yeah, it was pretty good though.
Listen, one day I will organize this.
Yes.
My brother-in-law is like so good at cooking crawfish. I actually texted him early this week, was kind of inquiring. I'm like, any chance I can talk you into cooking me crawfish if I drive down to Louisiana today or this weekend? And they're busy, but I think we need to do like an Inside Arkansas crawfish boil. And I will just you know, force my brother-in-law to just sit there for hours and just hook us up. Crawfish is special. There's not a better day. And we're entering that season, by the way, crawfish season. Just sitting there and letting it marinate all day. The boils, those are good times. The potatoes, the corn, all of it.
If we can make it work, I did it last year and I've done it every year. I know it's down in Little Rock, but a good friend of mine is in charge of the hat club down there, and they do at Dickie Stevens Ballpark. They do a crawfish boil, and it is amazing. And all we got to do is just show up because we're inside Arkansas. So maybe we look into that and having a time with all the crawfish and the taters and the corn on the cob and all
that. It's hard to get good crawfish around these parts.
Have y'all been here? To Cafe Roux? I haven't either. It's always on my list, and we're like, oh, the next time we're trying to go somewhere, we're going to go there, and then we never do it. And I've only heard good things about it.
Yeah, I have not been. Yeah, because that's the thing I've always discussed. You know how certain states and certain cities are known for like certain food items? Like Arkansas doesn't really feel like they have one, but I feel like they've missed the boat on catfish. Like catfish should be what Arkansas should be known for because there's so many
I agree with
catfish
that.
here. Yeah. And it's not to say that there's not places, but I mean, no offense to the catfish hole, but my favorite thing at the catfish hole is not the catfish. You know, it's the hush puppies and the fixins, as they call it. But
And the chicken tendies are banging over there too.
dude, they are great. That's all I get over there. I get if you want carb load, just get the hush puppies and fried chicken, and it is dank. Like I'm all about that. But there needs to be more. There needs to be better catfish places in Arkansas. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
there needs to be more. I love talking food. You see, I've always said that if I didn't get into being an expert in the sports field like I am, I would really want to get into food because who doesn't? Everyone loves food, and food is happy. Food makes people happy. It's like so much fun to talk about. But
dude, there's a place in Jonesboro. My grandparents used to live there in Jonesboro. We would go to. It was called Ron's Catfish Buffet.
Dude, if it's a
not
buffet,
open anymore, but it was. Oh my goodness, man.
Dude, those are the places there. I used to go down when I'd visit my grandparents in Rabbit Ridge. There's a place that I know people have heard Toad Suck Village, but there was this place actually called Toad Suck Restaurant that was over there close to Clinton. And the catfish buffets, man, there's something about them. Just hits a little bit different. They got the big pile of boiled shrimp, the peel and eat. Yeah, man, that's what's up. I love that stuff.
I might be able to talk my my Catholic and pregnant wife into going to a Friday fish dinner here. I know she went to the store and got some. Yeah, I know she went to the store and got some fixins for tonight because you can't have meat or whatever on Fridays during. I guess it's Lent. I should know way more about this than I do, but
sadly,
I'm doing the fried fish.
I have news to report in the fish department.
Really?
I was at Wendy's this morning. And I saw a sign that said they were advertising a fish sandwich, and it says it's Alaskan pollock fish.
Wow.
And I was like, why the hell Wendy's selling Alaskan pollock fish? Like and why is that's such an oddly specific thing?
I'm sure it's fresh and yeah.
I just don't know how where Wendy's headquarters were there. Like, we need to go to Alaska, get some of this fish, this pollock.
Did y'all ever go to Dots down here? The hot chicken thing? It was like a food truck or whatever. No? Okay.
I got food trucks next to me. I need to go to it.
Well, they bought this. I think it was like a car wash or like an auto garage or whatever down by my house. It used to be this place called Hip Cafe. It was like a coffee joint, but they've moved into there now. It's like walking distance from my house. I got to get over there. Anyway,
yeah,
I can talk food all day, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, we could, we've been talking food. This has been great. Yeah. Because I'm not Catholic, but I know way too much about the Catholic practices because that's all my friends are. So, yeah, like when I was in college with them, it just would piss me off. That it's like, all right, Friday night, let's go, let's get stuff. I know we got to go to the catfish hole, or got to go to what was it? What's the grilled cheese place on Dixon?
Ham and Trees.
Ham and Trees. Yeah, there's like the only two places we could go. It's like, dude, I don't want to do that, but that was the only places. So yeah, it's that. Did Michelle have the ash stuff on her forehead? Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
It's a sore subject.
I just out her. My bad.
Yeah.
Just don't let him know.
Yes, she did.
She needs to be a better practicing member of her religion there, but
it's sad, really sad. Yeah, sorry, Michelle.
She had a nice excuse though. It's fine.
Yeah.
I hope her parents aren't listening. They'll be enchanted.
Yeah, I'm about to say if I outed you, I do apologize. Woody says Duck Gumbo in Stuttgart every year. Yeah, this past year was the first time I hadn't gone in a while, and I hated it. But no, yeah, Duck Gumbo it's a time. Just make sure you guys, if you ever go, wear thick pants.
Thick pants. Oh yeah, gotcha.
Just do it.
Okay.
Girls make they're like, they'll wear leggings. Nope, don't do it. It's gonna be bad.
Okay.
All right, man. These chats, the chat like went crazy for the food too. Apparently, we've hit.
Okay, hold up. So is we need to figure something out with London here.
Okay.
Because I saw one earlier. He was like, each one of you guys could be paired with somebody off the fishing team. We could make like a tournament of it. Is London on the fishing team?
I don't know. I honestly don't know if I knew that it existed.
If so, I'm down to clown, man.
Yeah.
I'm anxious to make this work.
I don't know how, I'll
Okay.
do it.
You need to DM us, email us or something. We'll make it work. We will do this at some point.
He says he is.
Yeah. We're about to be in that point here, like whenever basketball's done and like we'll have a little bit of madness with Portal and then we have baseball, but it's not going to be as crazy. We can find a day.
Mm-hmm. I'd be down for it. I mean,
I am hereby counting all of Inside Arkansas in.
I would definitely be in. I would just be so nervous that I would let my partner down.
Oh, no, I wouldn't be nervous about that at all because I know I would. Like, I go into it. I'm like, I just know I am going to go out there with none of the gear. I am not going to know what to do. I'm not going to know what anything's called. Like, just as long as you're cool with me being someone who just drags you down, then it'll work out.
Look at this. See, we got, man. Okay. We're moving and shaking here. DM our either our Inside Arkansas Instagram or John.
Yeah.
I'd say me, but I also just said I never get on there, so I wouldn't.
Absolutely. And also Steven's coming in. He's like, John Neighbors. That's not how you spell my name, but I appreciate it. Shout out Church of Christ. How'd you know I was in Church of Christ, man? I guess I may have talked about it. I don't think I mentioned it on the show today, did I? I don't think I did.
That's where you go to church?
Yeah, I was raised Church of Christ, man. COCs. We don't do none of that stuff like that instrumental music or anything like that. We keep it with our voices. So yeah, I had no chance. My grandfather was a preacher and my other one was an elder. Just how it was. Yeah. So
he said you said it before. I feel like I knew that, but I didn't know why I knew it. So you must have said it before.
Yeah, I used to preach pretty frequently. I think we talked about that.
I remember you preaching.
Yeah. That was that was a long time ago.
You used to preach on Sundays after football games about
if I got too depressed.
Good old devotionals of
I know. I like doing those, but man, it just got to the point where I don't want this to be a downer every single time. I mean, this doesn't need to be fire and brimstone. Let's see. Man, this has been great though. I like the way that we ended this show because it was just after all this chaos and like frustrations from yesterday, especially with the game and all that, it was fun to kind of just end it on some stuff that really truly doesn't matter, but it is actually fun to do.
Make fun of Kentucky, talk about bracketology and fishing and food.
Fishing, food, and religion. I mean, we've covered all the bases here. Eureka String says you just give the vibe of someone who leaves room for Christ when you dance. What does that mean?
You leave the space between you and your partner.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you.
Full extension on those arms.
Well, okay, hold on a second. It's not like we're footloose here, where it's like bands.
You can't dance.
You can't dance or anything like that. I took Houston Nutt's daughter to homecoming. And there was dancing. Like it was a thing. So, yeah. Man, everybody's just coming in with random stuff here.
This is fun.
Ice Cold Mint Julep says coming soon. Inside Arkansas fishing jacket to buy. Can have all the sponsors on there. Maybe.
For now, you'll just have to settle for the Rod Hog, which is probably the sickest item that we've been a part of.
True.
Yeah. Yep. They have a Flyco, fflyco.com. Hogs by 20% off. They got some stuff for you Zen people out there too. They got a little container for your Zens. I know all you out there.
They got jeans that have the indention already.
Yeah. They got that good stuff out there. And I know we're about to wrap up here, but I just wanted to give shout out to Steven back here. I know we already talked about it, but he's the one that started this entire thing of what it ended because he just brought up turkeys.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah, that is.
You completely sidetracked us for a half hour. Good job, man.
Yeah. Thanks. Hey, listen, we'll appreciate it because again, it's Friday. It needs to be chill and fun and free and good times, good vibes only. You got Razorback Baseball about to start up. Got Selection Sunday. It's going to be great. So, well, guys, any final thoughts before we get out of here today?
Well, Vids from me kind of has my final thought of you with the humble brag there about taking Nutt's daughter to prom. And just like you just put it out there to the world and then moved right on. And and I've heard that before. I don't know if you said it on the show, but you didn't slip it by anybody, John.
Well, there's no humble brag. It's more of just like I'm admitting my faults and my humanity that I do make mistakes because of the person it couldn't stand. Real quick story though, that day of homecoming shows how old I am. The day of that homecoming, that Saturday was the same day Arkansas beat number 2 Auburn with Darren McFadden on the road.
27-10.
Yeah. And he came back to right in time to see everybody together because all the daughters were and everything. But man, he was fired up. He's like, "Look good today, boys. Look good today. Look good today." So yeah, he was fired up. But anyways,
I like it.
yeah.
But no, I don't. I mean, I really don't have any other final thoughts other than make sure you stay locked in with the Pod at the Palace this weekend. Said it at the top of the show, but I guess if there's a silver lining for Arkansas not playing basketball the next couple of days, we can really, really dive into the weeds of this NCAA tournament stuff. So we're going to be ranking the potential matchups and trying to get a handle on where they're going, what the seed is. Got a lot planned for the next couple of days. So check it out.
If anybody has to go back to work and is not able to watch Arkansas baseball today, tune in later on this very channel. We will have a recap of the game. Looking forward to Arkansas's SEC opener here in about 25 minutes. And even if you are going to watch the game, still tune into the Bombastic Podcast. We'll have you covered all weekend, and it's gonna be an active weekend for Arkansas, even without basketball. Just because there's gonna be a lot of talk going on about basketball leading up to Selection Sunday. 3 baseball games. It's gonna be fun.
Yep, absolutely. And my final thought was yesterday I got to swing a golf club for the first time in a long time, and it felt really good. And I can't wait to get back out there on the course. That's my outdoorsiness is golf. So it felt good. And the weather, I know it's a little bit shady, but stay safe out there, folks, because apparently there's going to be some crazy weather potentially here in the state of Arkansas, but also throughout the Southeast. So everybody stay safe out there. But either way, it felt good to get back out. The weather's getting nicer. It's the best time of year for sports. You got SEC baseball starting up, and you got March Madness getting into full swing, and we're going to have it all right here at Inside Arkansas. So be sure to subscribe to us here on the channel on YouTube. You can also follow us on social media at Inside Arkansas. You can also check out all of our audio podcasts wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, the Bombastic Podcast, or Pod at the Palace. And you can check out our website, InsideArkansas.com, for all the latest and greatest up-to-date information on all things Razorback. So for Andrew Ellis and Curtis Wilkerson, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Selection Sunday for our special of the NCAA Tournament bracket reveal. We'll see you then.